Imagine a country with more than 17,000 islands, around 130 active volcanoes, and more than 700 languages spoken across its territory. On the map, this place seems to contain far too many differences to exist under a single flag time. But Indonesia has managed to do exactly that. Around 284 million people live across an island chain, stretching between Asia and Australia, where some communities spend most of their lives at sea, while others build homes high above the ground, deep in the forest. Times threes can change. So what has kept a country this scattered together as one nation? Join us as we explore Indonesia. And before we begin, hit subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment telling us which country you are watching from. Number 15. Indonesia, the Emerald of the Equator. Known as the Emerald of the Equator, Indonesia does not appear as one continuous landmass, but as thousands of green fragments scattered between Asia and Australia. Some peaks are covered with snow, while other islands are so small they almost disappear when the tide rises. From above, the entire country looks like a handful of emeralds scattered between two oceans, times threes. Indonesia has more than 17,000 islands, stretching from west to east, across a distance nearly as wide as the United States, with a population of around 284 million in 2026, making it the fourth most populous country in the world. People here often share a simple idea: one lifetime is not enough to see the whole country. Beneath this vast archipelago lie around 130 active volcanoes. The same land that can destroy a village within hours also creates exceptionally fertile fields. Across the islands, hundreds of ethnic groups and more than 700 languages coexist. Some people build their lives around the sea and can dive to remarkable depths, while other communities construct homes high in the trees. The Minangkabau form the world's largest matrilineal society, and places of worship from different religions can often be found not far from one another. Amid all these differences in people, beliefs, and ways of life, perhaps the most remarkable fact is that they continue to exist together as one nation called Indonesia. Number 14. Indonesia, where many faiths coexist. What can hold thousands of islands and different beliefs together within a single nation? The answer lies in the national motto, Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, meaning unity in diversity. It is more than a symbolic phrase. It also reflects the foundation of Pancasila, under which 6 religions are officially recognized and coexist: Islam, Catholicism, Protestantism, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Confucianism. As of 2024, around 87% of Indonesians were Muslim, about 10% were Christian, and less than 2% were Hindu. Even so, Indonesia was not built as an Islamic state, but as a nation where different faiths can exist side by side. In Bali, each morning begins with incense smoke and small kanang sari offerings woven from leaves, filled with flowers and rice for the gods. During Nyepi, the entire island almost comes to a complete stop for one day. No lights, no traffic, no work. In the highlands of Sulawesi, the world changes again. The Toraja live in houses with roofs curved like boats, while funerals can become the largest event in a person's lifetime. The dead are laid to rest inside cliffside tombs, beside Tau figures that stand silently like ancestral guardians. Amid these differences, no community needs to erase another. It is this ability to coexist that has helped keep Indonesia united. Number 13. Indonesian women, beauty and their role in society. Amid Indonesia's diversity, women are often the ones who keep families and communities moving. Step into a local market just after sunrise, and you will see them behind the stalls, managing businesses, caring for their families, and maintaining relationships throughout the neighborhood time. The beauty of Indonesian women also varies from region to region, from Java, Bali, and Sumatra to Papua. But after spending enough time here, what stays in memory is not only their appearance, it is also their warmth toward strangers, their calmness while balancing work and family responsibilities, and a quiet resilience that is rarely spoken about. In West Sumatra, the Minangkabau form the world's largest matrilineal society, with around 4 million people. Land, property, and family lineage are passed through the mother, while daughters inherit the family home. Time Sri's weddings. At Indonesian weddings, the importance of family and community becomes especially clear. Traditional clothing can be highly detailed, colors are often vivid, and celebrations may welcome hundreds or even thousands of guests. Beyond family life, the position of women in society has also changed. Controversial requirements in the recruitment of female police officers existed for many years, but were later removed. By 2021 and 2022, the armed forces had also officially ended virginity testing. From rural villages to major cities, women remain an essential part of the rhythm of life in Indonesia. Number 12. Jakarta, the economic heart of Indonesia. Jakarta at dawn does not wake in silence. It begins with roaring engines, blaring horns, and streams of motorcycles squeezing through gaps that seem almost impossible. The smell of fried food from roadside stalls blends into the rhythm of the city from the earliest hours. This is one of the world's great megacities, with around 11 million people living in Jakarta itself, while the wider Jabodetabek metropolitan area had about 32 million residents in 2025. But the real rhythm of life is not found only on the streets. In traditional pasar markets, vegetables, fish, and the day's stories begin changing hands early in the morning. After dark, people spend hours eating affordable meals at warung food stalls or gathering in shopping malls. Indonesians call this habit nongkrong, which simply means spending time together. Even the concept of time has its own meaning here, known as jam karet, or rubber time. When arriving late is sometimes treated more casually, Jakarta's future is also beginning to change. Nusantara, on the island of Borneo, is being developed to reduce pressure on the gradually sinking city and to serve as Indonesia's future political center. Even so, by early 2026, only a few thousand civil servants had moved there, while Jakarta remained the legal capital and the country's economic heart. Before we continue, if you feel this journey is worth following, take a second to hit subscribe. Your support gives us more motivation to keep searching for fascinating stories, invest more into every video, and bring you even better journeys in the future. Thank you for traveling with us. Now, let's return to Indonesia. Number 11. From Kabaena to Kakaban, the world beneath the water. Across Indonesia's waters, the Bajau people have lived for generations almost entirely on and beneath the sea. These sea nomads can dive deeper than 230 feet on a single breath, sometimes carrying nothing more than handmade wooden goggles. Some spend as much as 60% of their working day underwater, searching for food and gathering resources from the seafloor. What caught scientists' attention was not only their remarkable diving ability. In 2018, research found that the Bajau had spleens that were, on average, around 50% larger than those of neighboring communities. The spleen can release additional oxygen-rich blood cells when the body begins to dive, helping them hold their breath longer and adapt to life beneath the surface. At Kabaena, in the Togian Islands, Bajau wooden houses stand on stilts directly above the water, with no dry ground underneath. Children here learn to swim almost as soon as they learn to walk, because the sea is not a boundary around their home. It is part of everyday life. Off East Kalimantan, Kakaban Island is home to an unusual lake, where jellyfish, isolated from the ocean for thousands of years, gradually lost most of their ability to sting. As a result, visitors can swim among thousands of jellyfish with little sense of pain or danger. Number 10. The Korowai. Life in the treetops. Leaving the water, the journey moves deep into the forests of Papua, where the Korowai are famous for their tree houses. But stories about their height have often been exaggerated. Most Korowai homes stand only about 20 to 40 feet above the ground, high enough to be impressive, but not impossibly so. In 2018, the BBC reported that some extremely tall tree houses shown on television had largely been built for filming purposes. Even so, the Korowai still genuinely construct homes at heights that most outsiders would find difficult to reach time. What matters most is not how high the houses are, but why the Korowai choose to live above the ground. This position helps families avoid mosquitoes and insects in the low forest, reduces the risk of flooding, and provides a clearer view in a region where conflict between family clans was once a real danger. In this sense, a home also serves as a kind of lookout post. In addition, the Korowai believe that the forest floor belongs to spirits at night, so sleeping above the ground is considered safer. Today, their way of life is facing major change. The modern world is moving deeper into the forest, forcing a way of life that has existed for centuries to confront a difficult question: how much tradition will remain as these two worlds continue to meet? Number 9. Gotong Royong. When the whole neighborhood becomes a family. When people think of Indonesia, many immediately picture Bali. But Bali is only one island among thousands, while the beauty of this country stretches across the entire archipelago. There are green rice terraces curving along hillsides, white sand beaches beside water so clear that boats appear to float in the air, and volcanoes catching the first light of day while mist still covers the valleys. Yet what many visitors remember longest is not the scenery, but the warmth of the people. In many villages, doors remain open, strangers may be invited in for a meal, and a sincere smile often comes before any introduction. This spirit is clearly reflected in Gotong Royong, the Indonesian tradition of sharing burdens and helping one another. When there is a wedding, the birth of a child, a funeral, or a roof that needs repair, neighbors come to help without being asked. Some bring rice, some bring cooking pots, others repair the house, while others prepare food for everyone. For an entire day, a whole neighborhood can feel like one large family. That support continues in a cycle, given to someone else today and returned to you someday when you need it. Behind this way of life is a simple idea of what it means to have enough. Not owning the biggest house or the newest phone, but sharing a meal, enjoying an afternoon cup of coffee, feeling the sea breeze at the end of the day, and living among neighbors who know one another by name. Number 8. Indonesian cuisine. From Rendang to the Spice Islands. When it comes to Indonesian cuisine, Rendang is one of its most remarkable dishes. This Minangkabau specialty from Sumatra is made by slowly cooking beef for hours, in coconut milk and spices, until the sauce is almost completely absorbed into the meat, creating its distinctive dark color and tender texture. In CNN Travel's Global Readers Poll in 2011, Rendang ranked first among the world's 50 best foods, while nasi goreng, Indonesia's famous fried rice, took second place. Two dishes from the same country claimed both top positions, time threes, but that is only the beginning. Indonesia also has satay, grilled meat skewers served with peanut sauce, bakso, a meatball soup commonly sold from street carts, gado-gado, a mixture of vegetables and eggs with peanut sauce, and sambal, which comes in hundreds of regional variations. Much of this flavor is not found in luxury restaurants, but at kaki lima, the street carts and roadside food stalls, where families pull up plastic chairs, eat side by side, and create the familiar rhythm of everyday food culture. Time. Looking farther east, Maluku was once the only place in the world where nutmeg and cloves grew naturally. These spices were so valuable that they drew European empires across the oceans to Indonesia, where they fought for control of small islands scattered across the sea. Number 7. Indonesia, where wonders and hardship exist, side by side. From the flavors of Indonesia, the journey now turns toward the wonders that draw travelers halfway around the world. In central Java stands Borobudur, the largest Buddhist temple in the world, built during the 8th and 9th centuries. After generations hidden beneath volcanic ash and dense jungle, the monument was rediscovered with 2,672 relief panels and 504 Buddha statues, before becoming a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1991. Time. Threes. Not far away, Prambanan rises with Hindu towers that resemble flames carved from stone. In Bali, Uluwatu stands on a sea cliff. Tanah Lot rests on a rocky formation, cut off by the tide twice each day, while the Subak rice terraces, recognized by UNESCO in 2012, still operate through a water-sharing system that is around 1,000 years old. But at Ijen, beauty comes at a very different cost. Miners descend into the volcanic crater, extract sulfur by hand, then carry baskets of yellow rock weighing between 150 and 200 pounds, often making 2 trips each day through toxic fumes. Time. 3 Zays. When night falls, sulfur gases ignite and create an unusual blue flame that attracts visitors. They come to take photographs, while the miners come to earn around $5 to $10 a day. On the same mountain, extraordinary beauty and extreme hardship exist side by side. Number 6. Krakatoa, Komodo, and Indonesia's most unbelievable wonders. After Ijen, Indonesia holds even more dramatic traces of geological power. In 1883, Krakatoa erupted with enormous force. The sound was heard from around 3,000 miles away and is considered the loudest explosion ever recorded. The energy released was estimated at nearly 200 megatons. Around 36,000 people were killed, most of them by tsunamis that swept across the sea after the eruption. Earlier, in 1815, Tambora produced the most powerful volcanic eruption ever recorded. So much ash entered the atmosphere that 1816 became known as the Year Without a Summer, causing widespread crop failures across Europe and North America. Farther back in time, Lake Toba remains the result of a supereruption that occurred around 74,000 years ago, leaving behind the largest volcanic lake in the world. The wildlife here is just as extraordinary. The Komodo dragon is the world's largest lizard, reaching up to 10 feet in length, and scientists confirmed in 2009 that it is venomous. Rafflesia can grow more than 3 feet wide, weigh up to 20 pounds, and release the smell of rotting meat to attract flies. In the Balyam Valley, Dani women once removed part of a finger to mourn the death of a family member. The practice has now almost disappeared because of legal restrictions and the spread of Christianity, but the remaining scars still preserve evidence of a way of expressing grief that endured for generations. Number 5. Flores, the volcano of mystical lakes. Deep within the forests of Flores, Kelimutu volcano holds one of Indonesia's most unusual natural mysteries. On the same mountaintop, 3 lakes sit close beside one another, yet each can display a completely different color. Even more strangely, their colors are never permanent. Overnight, the water can quietly shift from turquoise to emerald green, deep red, or mysterious black, as if the mountain were repainting itself. According to science, These changes are caused by chemical reactions between volcanic gases and minerals pushed upward from deep beneath the earth. But for the Leo people who live at the foot of the mountain, Kelimutu is also a sacred place where spirits are believed to gather. They see it as the land of sacred lakes, where the lake of the elderly carries darker, calmer tones, the lake of the young appears brighter, and the lake associated with mysterious spirits takes on more somber colors. Whenever the water changes color, local people believe it is a sign that the gods are sending a message. Surrounded by mist, mountain winds, and the quiet forces moving beneath the ground, Kelimutu feels like a place where the boundary between science and legend begins to fade. For that reason, this is more than a natural wonder. It is a destination that draws travelers into its haunting beauty and leaves them with questions that have never been completely answered. Number 4. Java, the most populous island in the world. Covering less than 7% of Indonesia's total land area, Java is home to more than 150 million people. More than half of the country's population lives on this single island, making Java the most populous island in the world. Life here often feels compressed into limited space, from densely packed neighborhoods to communities stretching toward the slopes of volcanoes, where people must divide every available piece of land among homes, roads, and farmland times 3. In major cities such as Jakarta, millions of motorcycles crowd the streets each day, creating streams of movement that seem almost endless. Beyond the cities, villages continue across fields and mountain slopes, where residents have learned to live with both the pressure of a huge population and the danger posed by active volcanoes. Yet on this crowded land, life continues with remarkable energy. Green rice terraces climb across the hillsides. Night markets glow beneath cooking smoke and the sound of conversation, while crowds still move beneath the shadows of ancient temples' time. Java is not a place of complete silence. Traffic, street vendors, voices, and everyday activity constantly overlap, turning a relatively small island into one of the most densely populated, dynamic, and vibrant places on the planet. Number 3. The Coral Triangle, Indonesia's treasure beneath the sea. If Indonesia's land is shaped by powerful volcanoes, then beneath the surface lies a completely different world. The country sits at the heart of the Coral Triangle, a marine region that contains more than 75% of the world's coral species, and is considered one of the most biologically diverse marine areas on the planet. Time, in Raja Ampat, or the waters around Komodo, descending just a few feet below the surface, can completely change the view. Vast coral reefs spread across the seafloor, surrounded by sponges, tiny marine creatures, and schools of colorful fish, constantly moving with the currents. In some places, life is so densely concentrated that every direction reveals a different shape and color, making the entire sea feel like one enormous ecosystem in constant motion. But behind this beauty lies a clear sense of fragility. Coral is highly sensitive to changes in temperature, environmental conditions, and human activity, so even a prolonged disturbance can alter an entire ecosystem. Time. For this reason, the Coral Triangle is not only a treasure of Indonesia, it is also one of the most important marine regions on Earth, where ocean life exists with a density and beauty that few other places can match. Number 2. Yadnya Kasada, the sacred ritual of the Tengger people. While darkness still covers the Bromo highlands, thousands of Tengger people begin their pilgrimage toward the smoking volcanic crater. In their hands are vegetables, fruit, poultry, and even money they have carefully saved, all brought as offerings for Yadnya Kasada, the community's most important ritual of gratitude. The Tengger believe they are descendants of Princess Roro Anteng, who once sacrificed her youngest child to the volcano in exchange for peace and abundant harvests for her people. As daylight slowly appears, mist still hangs around the temple, while prayers blend with the deep echoes rising from the mountain. One offering after another is thrown into the glowing crater, repeating a promise that has endured for generations between the people and the sacred power they worship. But the ritual does not end there. On the steep rocky slopes just below the crater, some local people stretch out nets, use baskets, or even reach with their bare hands to catch the offerings as they fall. To them, these objects are not waste, but blessings believed to bring good fortune and sometimes provide practical help in daily life. For this reason, Yadnya Kasada is more than a religious festival. It reveals how the Tengger connect faith, sacrifice, and livelihood to the volcano that has stood beside them for generations, a force they deeply respect, yet one that always carries unpredictable power. Number 1. Metatah, the Balinese coming-of-age ritual. When a young person in Bali reaches adulthood, they may take part in Metatah, a tooth-filing ceremony that symbolizes spiritual purification and marks the beginning of a new stage of life. With the steady sound of gamelan music, the soft scrape of a metal file, and incense smoke drifting through the air, the participant wears traditional clothing and lies before their family and a priest. 6 upper teeth, including 4 incisors and 2 canine teeth, are carefully filed to make them more even. In Balinese belief, pointed teeth symbolize sad ripu, the 6 negative desires within human beings, including greed, lust, anger, excessive attachment, and jealousy. Filing them down is not simply meant to change a person's appearance. It represents the ability to control instinct, discipline the mind, and live more responsibly toward both family and community. After the ritual, the material removed from the teeth is collected, carefully wrapped in leaves, and buried near the family shrine as a symbolic way of returning a part of youth to the ancestors. For this reason, Metatah is more than a physical challenge. For many Balinese families, it marks the end of childhood and the beginning of adulthood, when a person is expected to develop self-control, behave with kindness, and preserve the values passed down through generations in everyday life. After this journey, Indonesia may no longer feel like just Bali, tropical beaches, or a few familiar temples seen in travel photos. Behind those images are the Bajau people, who grow up with the sea, the tree houses of the Korowai, markets that come alive early in the morning, volcanic craters that continue to stir quietly, and communities that have preserved their own ways of life for generations. Time. Traveling from one island to another can feel like stepping into a completely different world, with its own language, beliefs, food, and rhythm of life. Perhaps that is also why Indonesians often say that one lifetime is not enough to see their entire country time. And as this journey comes to an end, the most fascinating part may be realizing that we still have not truly seen all of Indonesia. If you want to keep exploring places like this, hit subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment telling us which destination or story impressed you the most today. We'll see you again at the next destination.